and my friend said, "Oh, these four handsome state troopers came in and bought membership." So I ran into him. I met him really briefly. I actually didn't think much of him. I was running on the treadmill, and a few weeks later, we went out one night, and where all couples tend to meet the love of their lives at a bar. So we ran into each other there, and we ended up, it was the night before Thanksgiving, and we ended up staying up all night long talking, and we had so much in common. And I did play a little hard to get, I will admit, but it was kind of history from there on now.
And then with Beachbody, one of the guys I work with tried to get me to do P90X for months, and I was the guy that, nope, I'm the gym goer, I don't do at-home workouts, I'm not Richard Simmons, it's not happening. But eventually, I reluctantly did it, and it crushed me, and I just stuck with it, and fast forward to today, and she started following me, and here we are, that's all we do every day.
And lost the baby weight with it, 3 times.
That's right. Robert and Melissa.
So I'm going to tell you how we met. We were set up on a blind date by mutual friends, and we went out to dinner with them, and he walked into the restaurant, and I immediately was like, oh no, not going to work. So we had dinner, and I took my last bite, laid it down, and I got up and left. And he literally goes, well, she's a big bee. And that was the end of that. And a month later, I called him up and said, hey, this is Melissa Hudgens. And he was like, who?
First of all, it wasn't Melissa Hudgens.
Oh, you're right, it wasn't. You're right, this is Melissa Elmore.
It's just a coincidence.
So, I asked him out, I asked him if he wanted to go play golf, and he accepted, and we've been together ever since.
Notice who called who back, that's all I can say. No, as far as Beachbody goes, I'll make it as quick as possible. I started doing P90X back when it first came out in 2005, and just had great results with it. And because of that, back then before Facebook, we always had the message boards, and I was really active on that. That's what really helped me get through the programs and have the results that I did. And because of those results, people were coming to me and to people like Mark Briggs, Tracy Morrow, Doug Fitzgerald, all of us, and we were coaching them for free. And Carl kept an eye on those message boards, and so I met Carl at one of Tony's fitness camps he used to do across the country about 2 or 3 times a year. And I met, he just happened to fly in on a whim. I guess you could say he was, it was destined. But anyway, I came up to him, I said, hey man, I'd love to work for Beachbody somehow, some way. I love what you do. I believe in you guys. I'll clean out your trash cans if I have to. And he goes, man, I got something up my sleeve. I'll give you a call in a couple of months. And anyway, came home and was walking 3 feet off the ground, excited about it. And my beautiful, realistic wife said, he's not going to call you. and he did. And invited us to the founders meeting in Beverly Hills, and we get to sit and learn about it, and 41 of us started it, and it's been amazing ever since to be able to see this thing grow from 41 of us to 450,000 of us, so it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. All right,
So how we met, I was actually going into a friend's party, and this guy kind of came screeching around the corner and almost ran me over. And
I was just trying to get a better look at you.
it doesn't make up for the donkey. But he comes screeching to a halt and says, "Who are you?" And I kind of looked at him like, "Who are you? And you're crazy." And then my friend, of course, "Hey, I'm Kay, how's it going?" But anyway, something really crazy about us is we actually met in September. Well, we met in August. Our first date was September. He proposed in November, and we were married that same year in December. 2 weeks later.
Decide, commit, succeed.
You didn't use that one yesterday.
realize it very quickly. So, how we got into Beachbody, credit to her actually, she went back to the gym first and decided to try to get our family healthy. We had both been gaining weight, I was working full time, and it took her 18 months of trying to encourage me to work out and eat right. So remember that, if you have someone in your life that you wish would be healthy with you, remember, you've got to continue to be the leader, and that's what she was. She was leading by example, and I got on board later. And so I did go back to the gym at first, and you know, the gym is frustration city because it's inconvenient, and somebody's using the machine you want, and all of that. And right around that time, I found a guy online who had done P90X. He had amazing results. Joel, he's a sergeant with the LAPD, and the main thing that drew me to him was I noticed on this message board on bodybuilding.com, every single person who left a comment, he replied to them.
Because I was completely content. You know, I was a teacher at the time, working my job, coming home, taking care of the kids, getting into bed by 9 o'clock, watching Bravo and HGTV. Ladies, you feel me, right? So for us, it was a battle for the solid year when he was working the business because I didn't get it. I didn't see the bigger picture. All I saw was Dave walking around on his phone with his head down, slamming into walls, selling challenge bags. And for me and my perspective was, this is taking time away from our family. This is taking time away from our time. And I was resentful, and I was angry, and we fought a lot about it. And I think the main thing that happened was we never communicated about the business. He just went all in, and I was just on the sidelines just watching him do this business that at first there was no return. You know, he was constantly doing it. I was like, well, where's the paycheck? Because I gotta buy some new shoes. And, you know, with no return right away. So it was very hard for me to kind of see the bigger picture and to see that there was a future with this from early on. So it was tough, and communication was really where things kind of shifted for us.
So what happened with us, and guys, I want to start, for those of you who don't have a supportive spouse, you see this event, you see what this opportunity is. So if you have a vision, you need to protect that. And I had a vision before my wife, and I realized that we were fighting a lot. And the turning point for me was after going to Summit, I sat my wife down, and when I mean sat my wife down, not when the kids are running through the kitchen, not when you guys are bickering at each other, not when there's 1,000 things going on, like a date night, whether it's at midnight and the kids are asleep. I sat her down, I looked her in the eye, and I just communicated, and I said, this business I really feel can change our life. We're in a lot of debt right now, I need you to support me, and how can it work? And that was the change for us, because I know that so many coaches I hear aren't really communicating, they're bickering with their spouse. So once I did that, we came up with the plan on how to work it around family time, so I didn't feel stressed that I was working the business, and she then can support me. So the biggest takeaway that I had, I know Kristen and I, for us, is you have to have communication. And you can't stop. Like so many coaches, if your spouse isn't supporting you, and you keep stopping the business and starting and stopping and starting, trust me when I tell you, they may not be telling you, but they look at you like you're a joke because you're not for real. If you see something here, guys, go after it. Be consistent like you should be with your challenge. Show up every day, showing you're serious, and have 100% communication directly with your spouse and talk to them about it. That was a big switch for us.
Awesome.
I was already working full-time, like 60 hours in the office, going to school in the evenings, getting my business degree. Very limited time. I was already missing, you know, all the sports and everything going on with the kids at school. And so that's when I decided to build the business. Okay, keep that in mind. Very limited time. That's when I started building the business as a coach. And I remember one time, actually it happened multiple times, where my kids would say things like, why is dad always on the computer? And I remember talking to her privately, and I was frustrated because I was like, don't they understand I'm doing this for them? Like, this is to help our family. Why don't they appreciate that? Don't they understand? And then I realized they don't understand. They really don't. And so I sat the kids down, we sat them down together, and I said, do you know why dad's on the computer all the time? And they were like, no. And I was like, oh my gosh. they don't know. Don't assume that they know, because they don't. And so I said, how would you like it if Dad quit his job and be home with you? And their faces all lit up. They're like, yeah, that would be awesome. And I said, that's why I'm on the computer. I'm building a business. I'm increasing our income so I can do that. And from that moment forward, they became my biggest cheerleaders. Because then they understood the vision. We brought them into the vision for our family, like Dave said. Then they were a part of it. So then it was like, Dad, how's it going on the business? And there was a point further down the road when I was going for 10-star. And my son Luke, he really wanted to go into karate, and as you know, karate is super expensive. And I told Luke, I said, Luke, when I hit 10-star, I promise I'm gonna put you in karate. And when you make a promise to your child, you don't want to let them down. And that gave me a lot of strength those nights when I wanted to go to bed and I was stressed or I didn't want to work out and all the things that we need to do. And so I would encourage you to really think about how you can bring your family into this vision that you've got in your mind that you're trying to build.
Okay, so let's dive into balance a little bit. So how did you maybe when one of you was working full-time, the other wasn't, how did you balance this business? And then how do you balance it now?
Well, the balance is very similar to what David had said, just really about bringing your family in and having them understand what you're going for. But it's really important to have that schedule. You hear us talk about it all the time. Put down a schedule. And you need to let your kids, let your spouse know, hey, is it okay if on the schedule, I'm going to be doing my Beachbody business from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. I'm going to put the kids to bed. That's like my time. Is everybody on board with that? And let them all know, that's what I'll be doing. Or, you get up really early. Mommy's going to have coffee, Beachbody time from 5 a.m., to 6 a.m. So everybody is on board, and you just have that planned time. And we learned that the hard way, a really hard way. We have an instance that Robert will talk about here, and it's in my mind. It'll be in my mind forever, and it reminds me to make sure that I have balance in my life.
Yeah, we have two boys that are very heavily involved in sports, and like right now, my 16-year-old is about to take the field, and I'm not going to be able to be at the game because I'm here. And one of the things that I made a mistake early on was it was about 8 years ago, and he is taking the pitching mound for one of the first times. And Melissa and I were there. We were able to be at the game. We're sitting behind the backstop in camp chairs, and he's about to start pitching, and my phone rings, and I take the call. And I'm sitting there talking to a coach, or I don't remember who I was talking to, but all I can remember is he stopped, looked at me, and kind of gave me that, really, Dad? You're gonna do that now? And I learned early on right there that, you know what, I need to be where I am. A mentor, yeah, I mean, it's important. And it's so important that you grasp that. I mean, we always feel like we want to be successful that much quicker, so we got to be doing this business all the time, and that's not the case. You actually need to find out and realize that the more you are, the more organized you are, the more you stick to a schedule, that you will actually get more done in that time. And your family is not going to resent you because when it's date night, you're not answering the phone or text or updating Facebook or something in your challenge group. And when it's time to spend, when it's your kids' time and you're with them and you're doing one-on-ones or you're at their sporting events or whatever it might be, or when it's your time, whether it's your quiet time, your workout time. Our gym is a no-phone zone. And so, I mean, but what we have done is we have taken our calendar, which is I highly recommend that you do this, is you take a calendar, whether it's on your smartphone or the good old-fashioned Franklin Covey or regular one, and you put your times. If you get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 to 6:22, 22-minute hardcore. But whatever time, that's your workout time. Or your first thing getting up is your personal development time, and then some quiet time, and then your workout time. But you put it on there, and then you even put on time to eat, and then lunchtime, and then you're at work this time, and then this is my kids' time. And then you make sure that and Dave will talk about this here in a little bit about, your kids' times and stuff like that, how you come up with that. But you put it in there, and nothing encroaches in that. And the same thing goes with that beach body time. Nothing encroaches on that beach body time, just as if that's not going to encroach on the other things. And it's by doing that you won't have, like I went through, and like we've talked about earlier, the resentment, because if you don't, guys, your family will resent your business, and they will resent your success. And nobody enjoys that, and this is not worth it.
And to add that, and I know how many people here still work full-time trying to build a business? Show of hands. That's probably 90% of the crowd. So I still work full-time as a lieutenant with the State Police in New York. So just to give you an idea, thank you. To give you an idea, so our alarm goes off at 4:45 in the morning. We do our workout every day before the kids get up. Our daughters are still young, 11, 8, 4 years old. I have 3 girls. Absolutely love them.
Thank God for Energize.
Yeah. Guys, I get home around by 5:30. I overlook a lot of undercover units, so my hours can be sporadic, but most of the time, my office, I'm there during the day. I get home at 5 o'clock. Our family time is about 5 to 8 o'clock, 8:30 when our daughters go to bed. We struggle, it's a battle every single day. You gotta face it every single day to put that phone down, because we all are humans and we wanna make that our family time, but we make sure every single day that we sit down, we say what we're thankful for each day. We go around the table to all our daughters and my wife and I each day, and we have our family time. But this is the thing, after the family time, the way we built the business, because I still work full-time and my wife worked full-time until we retired her last fall as a school teacher, is that at 8:30, guys, this is when you need to make the sacrifices. And write this down, this is important. Sometimes in life, you gotta do things you don't like to do so you can live a life you wanna live. And what I mean by that is, I don't watch TV, I don't watch sports, I do not play on softball teams, and I love baseball. Because I'm working my tail off every night, helping my team, growing this business, because I have to do the things. I may want to be playing softball, but I have to do the grind and do the hustle, and her and I work, so I can live the life I want to live. And the only difference between you guys and where we are now is that we haven't stopped doing that all the time. You can't be watching every DVR episode on Netflix. You can't be watching TV. If you're happy with that, good. But as Gary Vaynerchuk said, the first time you complain that your business isn't going well, but you're doing all that extra stuff, then shame on you, because it's an excuse. So I still have 2 years left. I want to finish my 2 years with the State Police. I have 18 years in. I want to finish my 2 years and leave at 20 years. And we built a 6-figure business and paid off $100,000 in debt in 2 years and brought my wife home because we're willing to make the sacrifices, but we value the family time. Because there's nothing worse than having a great business and you have no family and no marriage.
Having 4 kids, you're kind of running every which way. And so, like he was saying, he was going to school for full-time, working full-time. It was difficult. And so what we implemented, which has totally changed our family life, was something we call Family Council. And we do it on Sunday nights. The whole entire family gathers together. And sometimes we bribe our kids. Yes, I'm not above bribery. But we have them sit down and we go through our schedule for the whole week. And we allow the kids time to talk, to let us know, like, hey, this is what I have going on Monday. This is where I need to be. And then it allows David and I also to kind of come together and say, okay, who's going to be able to take, Trevor here on Wednesday, and who can do this. But then also it allows us to put our business schedule in there as well. Who's going to host the webinar? What night is it going to be on? And so that really helped us to kind of have the week mapped out. Now things happen, and stuff will get thrown in there, back to school night or whatever, and you kind of have to roll with that. But for the most part, having things organized even just a week, sometimes we do 2 weeks, but just a week has made all the difference in our family life.
Awesome. So let me ask this. So you do have a supportive spouse. How do you guys divide the workload? What's your schedules like? How are you delegating the work back and forth, and how do you work together building the Beachbody businesses? Yeah, talk.
I can speak to going back to when I worked full time. The biggest stressors for me, besides 3 kids, was the amount of laundry and cleaning the house. And those are 2 things that I hated doing, and I was always behind in. So for us, we hired a cleaning lady that came every other week, but now she comes once a week because David got a puppy that sheds a lot. So
I have 3 daughters. I need a male in the house.
I was going to ask to make sure you got
he's a male dog, yes.
Yes.
So for us, delegating the cleaning took so much stress off of my shoulders, and I was able to focus much more time building my business. So a lot of people say I don't have the money for that, but if you can focus much more time on your business, and that other stuff is not, the busy work, you can make more money quicker to help pay for that. So that was something that took a lot of weight off our shoulders. And I think too, communication with your spouse again, with, can you take the kids from this time to this time, and I'm gonna go get some work done, and then vice versa, I'll do it for you on Saturday morning, while they're eating breakfast. So it's that communication, and it's setting little time frames where you can help each other out. Could you take the laundry out? And you know what, as your kids get older too, they're helping you. It's a family affair, like you guys said. So everybody gets on board and chips in to help delegate, so that way you can have that more focused time on your business.
Okay.
Yeah. How many of you who are here today, how many of you does your spouse also work the business? Okay. How many of you wished that your spouse worked the business with you? Yeah. Okay. So that's a lot of you, and the first question is not very many of you. And Robert and I hear this all the time. I really wish that my spouse would work the business like you and Robert work it together. And you know what? It's just, I don't want to say it's a fluke, but Robert and I both have a passion for helping other people. I used to own a clothing store, and I loved helping someone look good in the outfit that they bought. But all the time I heard, I'm too fat for these jeans, all the time. I was like, geez, if I can help people lose weight, I obviously would do a lot better at this. And it just so happens that we have that passion. But your spouse may not have a passion for health and fitness, for helping other people. And I tell my coaches all the time, we live in Texas, deer hunting is a big deal, and a lot of my coaches' husbands go deer hunting for the weekend. It happens a lot. And you're supporting, most likely, you're not a big passion to go hunt deer and skin them and let them do whatever they do, And so you're at home supporting, with the kids, you let them go out and do this thing. And what you really need to do is just ask for that support in that sort of way. You don't need to be saying, I need you to post a sweaty selfie. It will boost my business like no other. And that's when they start to think, I don't want to. Just like David said, it took him 18 months to start working out. And she led by example. And that's what you want. You just want to kind of continue on. And you don't want to push it on your spouse. So don't think that your spouse won't come around. They will. I have a very successful coach on my team whose spouse said, don't put anything on Facebook. Nothing. Don't put anything. This is embarrassing. I don't really want anyone knowing what you're doing. And she's like, well, I want to grow my business. 9 years later, he's going to retire from his job. He doesn't have to work, and she's killing it. And let me just tell you, he's like, post whatever you want. I don't care. So it will happen.
Yeah, to kind of piggyback on what she was saying, again, real quick, how many men are out in the audience right now? Raise your hand. How many husbands? Okay, or men, husbands, whatever. Okay, how many husbands are here just to support your spouse right now? Now, ladies, how many are here and wish your husband was here to support you? Okay. All right. Can I be frank right now?
Yes, sir.
Guys, men, if you're in this audience and you're not supporting your wife, you're a freaking moron. If you were here during the opening ceremonies and you got to see how many Success Club All-Stars walked across that stage, and there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and only 3 guys, and you're not doing something to support the lion's share of the growing leaders in this company, which are the females, and you're not doing everything you can to support her and help her be successful, then you're stupid. You know what? It used to be, we're anomalies up here, okay? The 3 male, like the kind of the leaders in the business up here, we're the anomalies now, okay? It's the women that are crushing this thing. And so we as men have to get out and we have to back our wives and we have to back our girlfriends and we have to back the women that are doing this. You're more social creatures. This is a social business. We're from Mars. We like to scratch ourselves and grunt and don't post selfies and shit. So, I mean, it drives me crazy when I hear these husbands or these boyfriends who bag on their wives for wanting something more, for wanting to better themselves, better other people, and better their families, and work hard in doing it, and have this albatross or this anchor holding them back. And I just want to grab that dude by the throat and go, dude, just shut up. At least get out of the way. But you don't hold her back. But men, I'm serious when I say this, as husbands, don't feel like you got to get out and crush it and be the next 15 star. It's awesome if you are, but what you do is you be the biggest cheerleader. I mean, you sit there and you help her out. Is there anything I can do to help you out? Is there anything that I can do to lessen your load? Here, yeah, I'll take the kids. We'll go to the park and let you get this webinar out of the way. But you do that type of stuff because I promise, golfing is expensive. Going deer hunting is expensive. But when she's raking it in, you get to go do those things. So I don't care.
You know, it's really what you're. So if you have an unsupportive spouse or somebody you're trying to win over, really what's going on is they're saying, look, I have limited time with you, and if I'm going to lose that time with you, what are we going to get in return for our family, right? And I think I think it might have been Kristen who said, show me the. Yeah, show me the money. That's really what's going on here. There was a gal on our team, she's a rising star, Star Diamond, and her husband works so hard, and he provides for the family, and he comes home and it's like, he wants time with his wife and his kids, and she's working this business, and one of the things that won him over was she bought him a TV so he could enjoy sports. And it was just like that small gesture that says, look, this is gonna help our family. They didn't have a big income, they were struggling, and she was able to do something fun and help other people, and now she's able to bring that benefit into the family, and now her income is really starting to go up. And I think they're starting to see the big picture. But sometimes it can be that small gesture, and other times you do need to sit down and bring them into the bigger vision of what's possible. But then, if they give you that okay, it's on you to crush it. You have to, like Robert said, you've got to stick to that schedule, hit your power hour, be productive. Like Dave said, be consistent and show them that you really are serious and committed, because they're giving you that opportunity. We all know that this business is it requires a sacrifice to be successful. So if you can build that vision, get them on board, then it's on you to make that happen.
Okay.
Don't wait for them.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, don't wait for them. If they don't see your vision, don't wait. You go and you crush your vision, your whatever it is that you see that you want to have happen with this business, you're the one who's going to make it.
Guys, if you have a vision, I'm going to say this again, protect it. Leave your mark in life. All right? Do not disappear. This business can change your life. All right? It's an opportunity of a lifetime. Take advantage of the lifetime of the opportunity. Your spouse will support you when they see you're serious, you communicate, you're consistent, you're willing to show up every single day, and you're willing to take no excuse. Stop looking out the window for somebody to give you permission to be successful. The only person you need is that person looking at you in the mirror right in front of you each and every day.
What he said, plus communication. I really think that for us, that was huge. And going to live events with your spouse or getting them on board with any little thing possible that you possibly can, just to give them a piece of what Beachbody really truly is.
The love that you have for your family, for your children, for your spouse. Create a vision around what you can do for them, the life you can create. Use that to fuel the hard work that you got to put in. Do the work, but use that vision of your family to fuel it.
I'm going to piggyback off that. Use that vision, but make sure that you're present, because your kids, your family, everybody can feel it when you're not there, and they know. And again, they want to be significant. They want to know that they mean something to you. And when you always have your head in your phone or in the computer, they feel that, and they feel that you're not there. So make sure you're present and do the things that are going to help you to be able to be present by using a schedule, sitting down, having time with your family, talking about scheduling. Scheduling's huge for us, so that's what it is.
And bringing your whole family in. Bring your kids in. They're never too young to bring them into your vision and what the family's vision is. So whole family communication.
Last word.
Man, I hope that food is awesome. It's $1 million taco. Anyway, really when it comes down to this thing, guys, when you're talking about building it as a couple, that's what you need to be seen as. Is when you think about your business, it's not your business, it's your family's business. And so one of the things that we always say is that when you get Robert, you get Robert and Melissa. When you get Melissa, you get Melissa and Robert. It's a 2-for-1 deal. We've always, ever since day one, it was always our team and us building our business. And so when you saw us, whether it be a summit or something, we were always there together. She came to Summit on a Wednesday, people were going, "Where's Robert? Where's Robert?" Because we were always together, and that's what it needs to be with you. Always showing that you're building it together. You have a fortified bond. You're supporting each other, because when you do that and you're surrounding yourselves and building your team that way, the foundation is strong, it's stable, and that is what true growth and long-lasting growth is built upon.
Awesome. Thank you.
I just want to say donkeys are amazing animals. They're amazing. People don't